Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Recently, there has been a incredible run up on Bitcoin. Some of the reason being that governments have decided that Bitcoin appears to be a viable crypto format. There has been money pumped into Bitcoin. There has been a large concentration on Bitcoin funds, crypto funds. I guess I should distinguish between Bitcoin and crypto, but there has been an increased concentration on crypto in the form of funds. And it's being marketed to the public in such a way that the belief is that if you utilize a fund, the impact of the whole consequence of volatility is reduced. Well, we're looking at Bitcoin as it stands right now, today 67 to 4305. Over the weekend, it was basically a hair's line difference from 70,000. That gives you some level of the volatility in Bitcoin. We can go back, I don't know, let's say 6 months. Did Bitcoin have a 67,000 value at that particular point? No, you had a lot of pundits saying that Bitcoin would be dropping down into the 30s and the 20s. And I mean, it's just been all over the place. A lot of predictions. And although I'm giving you my caveat and tour because I am not a financial advisor, I would not recommend you buying Bitcoin unless you use a system of dollar cost averaging. Buying Bitcoin at $67,182.19 today may put you in a situation whereas tomorrow you could be looking at 52,000 or lower. There are great forces churning even as I speak for the next few weeks. And there will be impact. It might not come right at the time when November 4th hits, but it's coming. And when it does come, people will become afraid. And all the money that's gone into that $67,184.15 Bitcoin will be coming out. Sure, the government will try to prop it up, because they've made a substantial investment in this company. They're not telling you what they're doing, but it's going on. Bitcoin is becoming a force across the world. It has been a force, but it's been an underground force. But it's almost like picking up a dirty gold coin and polishing it off. Because now a lot of the persons who have made phrases such as rat poison, I wouldn't do this with Bitcoin, or I wouldn't do that with Bitcoin. Oh, they're buying it. They bought it back when it went down about a year ago. I think it hit like probably just above 16,000, and it's been running up ever since. Um, there was expectation that it was going to drop below 16, but it did not. It hit that number and it decided, for some strange belief, to start to form a upward path. And a lot of that was due to the fact that at that time, when it did hit 16,000, that's when the government started to look at it. And if they were buying it at 16,000, they're sitting on, we're talking roughly 49,000 value change in less than a year. So winter's coming. The belief has been, they play around or they bat around, with this pandering to the public, saying that, what they call a crypto winter. We're still in the fall right now, but chances are Bitcoin continues to follow that path, then you can expect that there'll be some drop in Bitcoin over the next few months. And there are quite a few forces that will help it get there. I don't really own any Bitcoin. I do mostly experiments. I will tell you that this experiment that I did do in Bitcoin so far has yielded $12.10. There was basically $95, a little bit plus or minus, added to Bitcoin. But the experiment was based on buying while the asset crypto Bitcoin was headed up, not down. So 59,463.07 was the average cost, but it's only yielded a total return unrealized at $12.11. As you can see today, it's down $2.76, or 2.5% drop. It's had a 52-week high of 73,796. The volume lately over the last year or two, it's just been in the billions. I really can't judge what will happen with Bitcoin. All I can say is, if you plan to invest in it, don't do what the market's expecting you to do, being pandered to, buying into the hype, taking your millions of dollars that you've saved up for your entire life and putting it into Bitcoin. The smart way to do it, and it probably could reward you at some point, no promises, caveat emptor, but you could potentially see some results. But don't put all your eggs in that same basket. You have $1 million. If it were my $1 million, I'd put 100,000 into Bitcoin and hold on to the other 900,000. If it doesn't go anywhere, at least you try to participate in modern finance. The success wasn't where you thought it would go, but who's to say that it won't? 100,000 in Bitcoin barely gets you over a share and a half of the actual coin. But I've heard comments, as ridiculous as they have sounded, that if you buy a third of a Bitcoin, you'll be a millionaire in so many years. So if you're putting 100,000 into it, that's much more than $30,000. If you decide that, this is an asset that you want to participate in, if you're modern thinking, All I can say is do your research before you go that route. You know, there's a lot of different things out there that promise a lot, and we haven't weeded it out as a nation or a people. They said big reset. You know, they've been squeezing that along, and they finally got it through. I mean, houses that aren't even worth maybe $20,000-$30,000 are selling for $500,000. You know, if you want a decent home, you know, it's claimed to be luxury, but it's some false visual impressions of luxury, and they'll sell them to you for how many ever millions they can get. Meanwhile, prices just continue to go up. Interest rates are going up. Yeah, they said they're going to drop them down, but that's only done to orchestrate their goal. How long do you think that will last? The whole goal is to change, or what they call a reset of the world economy. And basically, that reset's going to exclude a lot of people. You may have thought you were considered middle class, but by the time this reset is over, you're no longer going to fit in that category. They're already eliminating the whole concept of the middle class. It's either you've got the money or you don't. But to be in the middle class and you're still asking the federal government to give you money to support, you know, daycare costs, are you looking for health care benefits to offset what your job's healthcare coverage pays? Your nickel and diamond on gasoline prices, trying to save percents with credit cards, or using all these different coupons to associate trying to reduce costs. Well, it's interesting. Everybody seems to do that, and they've been doing it for years. But yet the economy says you should be paying X. Economy prices are set, but we're all looking to pay Y. Looking for all kinds of handouts, is what my grandma used to call them, to try to reduce the price. Why do we set the prices at points where people feel they can't afford it? Why is it not an efficient environment, whereas the price is as low as the price can be, and you shouldn't have to perform some magical trick through a coupon to look for some minimized adjustment? Because even if they give you 5% off your food, it's not really going to save you anything if the prices are too expensive. They're just going to include that 5% as part of the price. So basically, it just becomes a quid pro quo. So think about all of that. Think about your decision to go with a Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin has a future. All the regulation probably will start to stun it. But if you were lucky enough to pick it up back when it went to 16,000 just about a year and a half ago, and now you're looking at 67,000, hey, sell, sell, sell. Thank you for listening to my YouTube channel.